Hello and welcome back to another session of Pistonics. It's Byron speaking, and hopefully today the recording system will just work for me and not just occasionally fail and screw up the sound and whatnot. Let's hope for the best and keep going. So in the previous session we managed to successfully run this application and put a rectangle here at the mouse location. The goal is in this session to draw as much of the game state as possible so that we have some means of visual debugging. And yeah, I guess we could start with, we can change the colors eventually. For now we might go with the, I don't know if I want to go with that eye cancer creating color scheme here. But let's first, I guess, get rid of this rotating triangle. How does rotation work, by the way? Because that should, during update, it updates it a little bit. So that's the only state that we have here. Yeah, so let's kick it out. Let's kick everything out that relates to the previous rotation here. So that's the rotating triangle. We clear the screen. We should at all times have some sort of state, by the way. Right now we do not assure that actually. But hey, we will eventually do that. So now we have colors, we can draw rectangles. And I think the rotation is something we still want to remove here. Update. Add as app update. I think the app usually is what would be the engine. And that's exactly what happens. So the app in our case encapsulates just drawing. I actually don't need that state here. If I don't need that state, well, what else do we update? We just really call update on the engine. So maybe just have a few functions. You notice having structs here and doing that. I don't think it's actually needed. So let GL be this. Let's try to change it. But if we do that, then maybe it's not such a bad idea to kind of keep the state together here. So let's have an app with an engine. Maybe there's more state eventually, and then at least we can use that state within that system here. Yeah. I don't know what I'm talking about, I guess. But I think I like the simplicity. We just pass it on and then deal with the details in here. So yeah, let's try to hook it up. Now we should only be able to draw something at our mouse location. This should be a circle eventually, or should be based on a shape that we should get. I think we will need to change things here around as well. But yeah, let's get into this slowly. So first, update. We have an update call here as well that we could pass on, but on the other hand, we don't necessarily have to care about that just now. Let's try to get the drawing going, right? So do we still work? Rotation. Oh, I didn't save that. So yes, it still works. We just draw a single cube here. And yeah, we have a size that we probably want to use to set this up, or maybe to scale it. Transform. So I guess you would be best with a square that has 1, and then we scale it up by the size. So let's see if we have some sort of scaling mechanism here. Scale. Graphics, transformed, scale. We do. On X and Y, so that's 2D graphics. But that shall be fine for us. Let's transform it. and scale it. So the type should match, right? Scalar, exactly. So that's F64 here. And it's S hunter size, S hunter size. This is what I would expect here, of course. More like that. So now we should get a triangle that is properly scaled, and the position, we have to move it to the, we want this thing to be at the center of the mouse location. So I guess we just subtract size here and do the same thing for the Y position, huh? Let's see if that does anything useful. Size half, of course. So that should now be what we expect. Escape and exit already works. Yeah, the VSync stuff, I just want to set it to false just to see if there's still this lag going on or not. Yeah, now it's choppy and not VSynced, but still a lag kind of. So we can as well turn it on. But yeah, look at that. We have something at our mouse pointer location with the size that we determined here. And considering that we can move out of this, the entire concept of having a margin in our game state is not really needed anymore. I was thinking that we have a dotted line here so that we can move the thing into the margin and then clamp it to the system, clamp it there. But actually the original game, Chrome experiment, works differently. You just have the game state or the game playing field, and you can just move in and out as you like, and there's no such thing, and there's no clamping going on. So I think we don't need that. I had this in mind, but now that I see it, we're totally fine kind of moving this out and in. And we might have some sort of penalty if we're outside too long or whatnot, but that's something we can determine later. So yeah, cool. This already works. And I guess I also would like to have a function that draws one of our game items somehow. So they all look very much the same, huh? You have a position, you have a size, and then there might be additional things. So now it would be the time to kind of say, well, we would like to have a common type for this so that we can have a one function that does it. We could use traits and generics for this. But then, considering this is all the same, I would rather have it all in the same data structure as well. So pub struct object, so an object, a game object which knows a few things about itself. I think that's more like it. And then initially, I guess I would, as long as they're the same, I would keep them the same. So we have a position here and a size, and I think I also want a shape, which is a collision shape. So it's a collidable object basically. And this will probably make a few things easier later. And then we want to have all these traits implemented as well. Cool, so now we can just kick this out. And we can, of course, bring it back in at some point, but for now I don't need it. So that's an object, that's an object, that's an object. And when we set it up, we will do the same thing. Object, object, and that is default implemented. Obviously now we have a shape which shall be a collision shape. The hunter is a circle, And this thing, the prey, is a rectangle. And actually it's a square because we only know sizes here. A single size. So we can only be squares and not rectangles, which could have a different length sides, which we just can't do. All right, this means we can, yeah, this should actually work, should it? Yeah, I think this should work. This clamp to field stuff, let's have a look. Random position and field, this is something we need. Clamp to field we might also need, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm absolutely not sure. And this safety margin, we don't need it. No. The margin, let's see how we compute it. We get the field, then we compute a margin. And then we set the size up so that it is, so that the hunter would fit into the safety margin. And maybe we can just keep it here, but not use the margin. Because after all, I don't know, I think that's kind of all right. Mint field margin. Yeah, let's keep that. Should be fine. Playing field can't be too small. And yeah, that is that. So in theory, that actually compiles and works. Totally. Cool. Clean it up a little bit. So about colors. Do I have a program that allows me to get color values easily? Probably have many programs for this, but Krita seems to be the one I want to use just now. Maybe can I put it full screen? Kind of. So let's use one of the benefits here. Come on, full screen. Actually, this thing can't be full screen. Interesting. Okay, forget it then. So we will just try to get a color here that is easier on the eye. So actually, let's try to simulate that Chrome experiment and pick this color. Where's the color picker? Color picker? No. This doesn't respond at all right now. Let's have a new file. Okay. And maybe it responds now. It does. Cool. Color picker. I need a color picker that allows me to get off screen. Yeah. And to get the values out of there. So how do I do this? Yeah, I don't see it. So if I paint with some weird color, wow, this is really slow. This is super slow. Ew. Something is wrong here. Anyway, if I do this, can I press some button to get a numeric value for my color? If it's there, then I don't see it. Okay. So Krita, maybe not. Do I still have GIMP? I do. I think this should allow me to do it. Yeah, this is no fun. I have no workflow for this, obviously, because I'm not a graphics guy. But yeah. Color sync utility. Maybe there are also digital color meter. Look at that. Here we go. Native values. Yes. Cool. So you can even get a sample that is larger than that so that you can have mixed colors there. Awesome. Cool. So 255, 204, 0, and the conversion into from 0 to 1.0 to the domain, basically, I can just do myself. So cool. GIMP is still doing stuff. Oh, now it finally loads. So here we have the color meter, color sync utility, and calculator from and to, I guess. Yeah. Floating point values from 0 to 1. Okay. That is not my one. I think that's very useful here. That's something I could definitely use. And maybe I can even set it up to show me different values. Do you have any options? As decimal. It has at least 2 different ways to show me that stuff. Hex. Okay. I mean, all that probably doesn't help. Percentage could help. Then I could translate it directly. Yeah. But then I only have 100 values instead of 255, 100 possible values. So I guess in order to be more precise, I will just go with that and then do the computation myself. Cool. And let's kick this because I don't want it. I'm fine with the color meter here. And once again, my computer seems to be very hot and busy for some reason. I don't know. Let's hope it doesn't overheat. It's so very annoying. Just a sec. Yeah, I just opened the lid of the computer, so maybe that buys me some time, reduces it by a few centigrades. And yeah, let's keep going. So that is... Why does it change here? That's weird, isn't it? Because it gets the on-screen stuff and there's a little shadow here. So yeah, 255, 204. So that is constant BG color. And I will not spell it out here. So it's 255. That's basically a 1.0. And 204, huh? 204. So we call this an F32. And then this is 204 by 255. And then we have 0.0. And 1.0. That's always alpha here. And the red thing is just red, is it? No, it's a dark red. 204. Well, I'm fine with that. And are there other colors that we need? Black. I think this black is black, is it? Or is it more like gray? Come on. Yeah, I guess the aperture size I should reduce to a pixel here. Oh, it's gray, 51. So let's clear the screen with the background color now. The red is now different. Green we actually don't need. We need a black. That shall from now on be different. And I have a syntax error in there that I didn't even notice until now. Here we go. So black is like 0.3, I guess. Gray. Or if I say, what was it, 51? 51 by 255, 0.2. I really like this calculator thing in Spotlight. I think it has been there forever, maybe not, but if it's new now, then I am a user. Very useful. Spotlight probably is more useful than I admit it to be, or that it can do more than I actually use it for, but you know, for now, I'm fine. Okay, so we are drawing the rectangle, but we are doing even more. We have now just an object here, so we can have a function that draws an object, right? And we pass in the obj, which shall be a catchit object. Oops. And then we have a collision shape as well that we want to later match on to know what we want to draw. Yeah, I think that's how it is. And then we need a circle to be able to draw circles too. And this should allow us to draw prey and circles. And the prey, yeah, you'll see how that goes, I think. The prey right now, yeah, it's just a square. Cool, so I think we can draw everything we need to draw. I'm not sure about this dotted line here. We might just not draw it instead. Because for us, we don't need to, you know, the dotted line is our window here, basically. Oh, and something finished here. Wow. I'm not sure what it's doing there, but who cares? Amazing. Networking is flaky in this session. In this operating system. It seems to lose connection occasionally. It seems to lose connections on USB as well. It seems to lose everything. It's crazy. I should have stayed on Yosemite. It's never a good idea to be on better, and now I'm stuck with it, I guess. But anyway. I seem to be still online, huh? Yeah, okay, good. Good. So yeah, let's have this function ready. Come on. We need an object, and that's pretty much all we need, huh? For now, that's all I see. So we have a transform here. And then we need a context, but the context, yeah, we need a context. I don't know the type of the context. Let's find out about the type. Let this be the context. Show me. And I think what we can do is then just say draw object. And then we say whatever we want to draw, hunter. Let's draw the hunter here. Okay, thanks. And this stuff we shouldn't need anymore. So let's see what the compiler thinks about that. First of all, there's a syntax error. Fine. Oh, constants need the type declared. Yeah, I forgot. Damn it. So it's an F32 for array. Like this, like this, like this. It looks ugly, but I think it's fixed in a moment. There we go. So that should be better for him. And now tell me what types I'm getting wrong. Yeah, I just copied this. Let's fix it up. So we have obj, 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 like that. Then we want to scale it up to obj and obj. And the rest is fine for now. And now we don't have a C, sure. And GL we also need. And I have no idea about these types. Yeah. Maybe I just hide it from sight for now until it tells me. So it gets a graphics context. OpenGL graphics. Yeah, where's that coming from? Let's see. I realized that it's easier to just build the documentation from my crate because that will bring in all the crates I'm depending on. So if I'm looking for a context, I know that it's a graphics context. So let's use it. Use graphics context. Does that work? And GL is what? It's OpenGL graphics, GL graphics, and we happen to have these. That's cool. So yeah, that should be working for us. Do you compile now? Yes, you do. Okay, so now we can bring the thing back. First, we have a context. C. I hope it doesn't need to be mutable. And this looked like we own it here, huh? Which is also a bit odd. Let's see if these are mutable or not. I hope they are not. Context and then GL graphics. And that is that. Right, so now this should work and I can just pass on these guys, context and GL. Let's see. Square, did you mean arcs? Oh yeah. So now we want to make it a closure and say, well, this will obviously, well, it binds stuff for read only, so having a closure for this should be fine, right? We could even have the closure, in the draw object here. Then we don't need to do anything. As long as this is always read only, and I'm not sure if, for instance, this rectangle function, if they at some point need mutable states here. So what do you say? What do you need? Draws a rectangle. Oh, we could actually use these functions as well to do what we want to do. But anyway, why don't I see this function? Rectangle, graphics rectangle, draws a rectangle. Right, I've been there. Ah, here we go. That's a different one. So just needs a mutable graphics thing. And this means if we have a closure here, things will not work anyway. So here we go with the mutable graphics thing. And the context. So if you want to have a transform, I think that doesn't need to be mutable, huh? So long story short, we can make this a closure and bind a few things then. The stuff that we need to mutate, we will pass in as a parameter to the closure. So let draw object be a closure. the context we will just bind to. And that is that, right? Let's see if we can call it. So now this should be all we need, but I will see. Cool. So that still works. You change colors a bit. It's not that terrible anymore. I mean, I'm just mimicking the colors that we see in the browser, so why not? That's pretty decent. Cool. So let's now also draw the prey and also implement the collision shape. Match on obj shape, which is collision shape square. How's it? Did I mess up the name? I called it squares. So it's collision shape square like this. And then we just change the calls, shall we? And the color for now, we just keep it at red, even though we would have to find a way to determine the color that we want to draw. And maybe this is something we specify here. Yeah. So then once again, the only reason we still have this closure is that we bind to the context. Probably it's not a bad thing to do that, but I think the color we want to specify here. So let's do that. I guess I want to give it a second argument. Color shall be a borrowed to an array of 4 F32s. Like this, because that's exactly what we have. No slices, no stuff, no conversion, just a pointer basically to that structure. Then we can say red and red, because the same function we want to use for drawing the balls as well, which are blue and white respectively. So there we need that kind of axis. So now we need, now we draw both. I think the hunter should always be drawn last so that it's on top of stuff. And yeah, that's probably a good idea. Size is already taken into consideration. Now the actual drawing here. Let's find out how we can draw a circle and how to do that. I guess it's just circle here, huh? I hope. Rectangle, square. I wonder how that works. So it seems to be both a function and a module, huh? Which is interesting. How does that even work? Does it work that way? So graphics. Oh, we are there already. Pub use rectangle. So yeah, we have a rectangle module and we have a rectangle function. Awesome. Wow, I didn't know that works. So that's something to remember, huh? In case you don't want to add unnecessary words to your API, just reuse it and say, well, this one is a module, obviously. The other one is a function, obviously. So we do have circles. We have an ellipsis, which is certainly good to draw a circle as well. Polygon, rectangle. Yeah, so let's use this. So we have a circle here. Centered square, which is a circle. Cool. So let's import it. And this imports both names, right? The circle drawing and the circle circle. Let's see how that works. Centered square, X, Y, and radius. Yeah. Okay. So collision shape, circle shall be a circle. Let's see how the circle drawing works. Or ellipses, huh? Yeah, that's an ellipse then. So we want to wait. Yeah, actually we need to import ellipse. Yeah. So how do we draw an ellipse? Color the rectangle. So the creation function probably create a rectangle, huh? Do they do that? I guess so. Otherwise it wouldn't work. Huh. It returns a rectangle, okay. No, wait, that's a centered. Okay. Yeah, I think that should work. So we can use that square and just draw it. Yeah, we don't have to initialize another one. Well, fine. Let's remove that though. But that's an ellipse. We draw the square. And that is that. Yeah. Right? That should already do it. Except for the syntax here that we got all wrong. So let's try that. Nearly. Okay. Red. Found this. Yeah, sure. Now the color is a pointer to something, so let's do it. And what else? Oh yeah, sure, we have to provide a pointer. A borrow, like that. Here we go. Should be a bit better now. And the color should come second. In a way, I like it more if the color comes third. So let's do that. And of course, the color we want to use here as well. And the color, is it owned? It looked owned to me. And color is owned. Amazing. Why do they own the color, damn it? I mean, it's 4 F64s. You don't want to... No, wait. If they would own... I think it's copyable, huh? This is why that works. Yeah. So yeah, we just put it here and it's copied there. This is a bit odd. So I wanted to have a mutable OpenGL graphics, and it found... Yeah, so I don't know where that was coming from. Now it works. So here's our prey. Awesome. And our ellipsis. Yeah, it's a bit... I think it's a bit huge, but besides that, we are good. Maybe it's fine like that. I don't know. Cool. So we are drawing stuff. I think last but not least, we want to draw. Why not? We want to draw the obstacles here. Right now there are none, but we might as well just set it up so that there's something we can work with. And yeah, the obstacles, I think I want to have something there because there are two different types. I want to have a known type there, I mean. So let's have it. Because that differentiates the color. Pub struct. Yeah, let's put it down here. Pub struct obstacle. So we have a type, kind, which is an obstacle kind that we will have to define, and then we have an object that is an object to define the other things that we usually need to work with, have this work within a game. an obstacle the hunter can collide with. So now we need the obstacle kind. Pub enum obstacle kind shall be so decayer or something. So one obstacle that causes all other obstacle. Invisibility switch. I think this is it. Invisibility switch. Cause all other obstacles to hide themselves for a while. And deadly kills the player. So we have deadly obstacles and invisibility switches. I think that's decent enough. So last but not least, let's have the vector actually contain obstacles. Like this, so we can now just draw it for O in S obstacles. Like that. Yeah, it looks weird. Let's do it for obstacle. And obstacles, that should be a borrowed reference here. A shared borrow. And now we can just switch on the type, match on the obstacle kind. And if it is a special one, yeah, we probably wanna have obstacle kind here as well. So if it is obstacle kind deadly, yeah, let's set the color, shall we? We just set a borrow to a color. Let color be whatever comes out of here, which is either black, or if it's an obstacle kind invisibility switch, then it is white, that we do not have just yet. So I guess if you go to 0.8, it's kind of what you would have here. Yeah, looks good. And now we draw the object with the color, and that's just the obstacle obj. And I wonder, should we just spell it out? Because we have kind spelled out. So let's spell object out as well. All right. That could do something. Let's see. Binary operation cannot be applied. Oh yeah, because I think we forgot to derive all these traits that we need to be part of the state. And now, last but not least, duplicate definition of black. Nice. Borrowed value does not live long enough. Are you kidding me? What? Come on, it's a constant. It certainly lives long enough. We could also just copy that stuff around. But excuse me, that totally lives long enough. Why am I seeing this differently? So what does it want to tell me? Borrowed value does not live long enough. Reference must be valid for the block suffix following a statement. 56. Yeah, I think so. But honestly, how would it not live long enough? It's a borrow to a constant, which should have a static lifetime, huh? I totally don't get that. There's nothing special about this. It's really just... come on. Weird. Very, very weird. I'm staring at it, but I don't see what the problem is. What's the time saying? 45 minutes. I think it's a good time, once this works, to say to introduce the end of the session. However, I really like to get this to work first. And sure, I could copy the values, but let's say I would like to understand why that value does not live long enough. But borrowed value is only valid for the expression at 54. And that simply cannot be. No, no, no. Makes no sense. Totally not. Makes no sense. So does it make a difference if I just drop this thing right here? Like that? No. Shouldn't be making a difference, huh? Weird. Maybe it's something. It is returning a slice. I think this is what that does. And this is why the slice does not live long enough. Even though it should. I think this is a slice. Unless we say, well, listen, dude. It's an F32 array of 4 things. So now it should be what we expect it to be. No. That's so weird. And it doesn't care. So what if I say, well, it's a slice? So it can go along with the slice. Interesting. Why would that be? It makes no sense to me. What the heck? Is this the standard? That would be worth a Stack Overflow question, just because I don't get it. There are many things I don't get, but this is one of them where I'm quite sure that this shouldn't be the case. So slices work, but not borrows to arrays. So maybe because of this, they kind of copy the stuff around, huh? All right, then I will copy the stuff around too. Okay, here you go, copy stuff. I mean, the optimizer will probably do its thing anyway. You know what, considering that? I mean, we copy stuff around many times then, but on the other hand, the optimizer will do its thing. So yes, we take the color. This will make this look a bit more natural. And that's how that goes. So let's see. Cannot be dereferenced, 44, true. Now the color is a copy that we can just use, and that works. Awesome, so we draw the collision or the obstacles right now in all the color variations. So basically that's our drawing, except for the fact that we have to draw text as well. I think that's something we should do in the next session, and then we can start to implement the actual game. So thanks for watching and have a good day.